Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Before I start the video, thank you very much all of you for 71 subscribers. It means a lot. I never thought in these few months the channel would come as far as it is. So today we will be taking a look at the first ever video to ever come of this game. I will leave a link down below where you can print this off. This is a PNP game, which is a print and play game. It is called Unterseeboot or Unterseeboot. My camera, for some reason, isn't focusing. There we go. So Unterseeboot in German is under the sea boat, and that's what a U-boat is. We're not going to get into the details, we're going to get into the game. So Unterseeboot is a game where you are a U-boat commander, and your role is to try and attack as much allied tonnage as possible. So let's have a look at the counters and explain how the game works. So for the counters, you have two types of U-boats. You have the Type 7A, and the Type 7A can only hold 7 torpedoes and can only launch 1 torpedo, and has different diving capabilities. Then you've got the Type 7C, which can hold 7 torpedoes, and it can also hold another 7 in reserve. And again, this has different combat capabilities. These are the unidentified target markers, and these are what you'll be placing on these areas here. My camera will focus. There you are. So you basically place these here when you've identified a target, and you're going to be using dice, and I will explain how that works in the how to play video. This is just a run through of what the game has. You've got identified targets, and before you start the game, you'll be placing these unidentified target things, and these might be merchant ships, or if you roll a number, maybe a 1, for example, it means you remove the target off the board, and it means you haven't found anything. Okay, now the next is the most vital for the U-boats. It's the torpedoes, and the Type 7A can hold 7 torpedoes. You can only launch 1 per turn, but on the Type 7C, you can launch a spread of 2 torpedoes at 2 targets, and I'll explain how that works in the playthrough video. U-boats, when they are submerged, they run on battery power. So every time you submerge, you have 6 units of battery. Can't see if I can show you there. There you are. So you've got 6 units of battery, and this is what you'll be placing on the space here. And every time you submerge, your battery will go down. And if for some reason you run out of battery, your U-boat sinks. However, you do have another chance by using auxiliary power, which is your engine power. I primarily use this when I am spotted by an aircraft. You have 3 of these, so these basically act as like 3 different lives because there's 20 turns. They act as like a crash dive system, so you can dive only 3 turns. Crash diving is basically an evasive maneuver, but if the battery runs out, your U-boat is automatically sunk. And when you surface, it says on the game, it says on the reference, if I can find it, yeah, the battery power phase. If the U-boat is on the surface, immediately replenish all of the battery tokens. On my one, that's not accurate, so for every turn, the battery will recharge. Okay, as I mentioned before, the auxiliary power is basically just a systematic crash dive system. So you only have 3 turns to crash dive, so use them wisely. You can also use them if you don't have much battery power left. You can also use these to come up to the surface. And of course you have your turn track, because as you will see, there is, if I zoom out, 20, where's the tweezers? 20 different turns, and 20 turns stands for a whole patrol. The next one is the detected marker. So there are a few phases. There is the U-boat maneuver phase, where you will move your U-boat. There is the battery power phase, where if you're submerged, you will deplete your battery. There is the target identification phase, where you will roll a die, and if you roll a 1, means you haven't found the false contact, and you'll be putting either an identified target to show you've identified the target, or an unidentified target, which you'll place to begin with. When you find a target, you then roll a dice, and depending on the number, you always add a 1 on it. So it's 1,000 tons, 4,000 tons, 6,000 tons, and what have you. The next is the aircraft phase. And if the U-boat is submerged, you ignore the phase. But if it's on the surface, you roll just one standard D6. And on a 1 or a 2 or a 3, you're spotted by the aircraft, in which case you will place a spotted marker, and then the aircraft will begin a strafing attack or drop depth charges. You roll a die, and you can be damaged on the surface on a 3+, so a 3 or higher. When you're damaged, or if you take damage, you will place a hull marker on your U-boat. Doesn't matter if it's the type 7A or C, the U-boat has a hull health of 3 hits. After the third token is placed, the U-boat is destroyed. However, at the end of the turn, there is an option to repair with damage control, and it's 1 attempt. So, for example, say that I had my U-boat damaged by an aircraft and I couldn't crash dive. Basically, I could roll a dice on the end of my turn, and if I rolled a 4 or higher, for example, oh god, this isn't good, I rolled a 1, and this would mean the damage will be sustained. Basically, it cannot be repaired. If it was a 6 or higher or 4 or higher, the damage can be repaired. And having damage doesn't actually affect how your U-boat moves, but in my version, when I make my playthrough video, and then I'm going to make an optional rules video, there'll be different depths. So let's have a look at the depths. So you have surfaced, and this means you're on the surface, so aircraft can spot you. Periscope depth means you can attack. You can also attack on the surface. No, you cannot use your deck gun in this game. When you're submerged, you can go to 100 meters and 200 meters. You'll notice something. This is the destroyer attack. So whenever you have conducted an attack, automatically the convoy, as if it were, will detect you. But you'll need to roll a die to see if you're detected. So for example, I rolled a 4. So in this case, I wouldn't be detected. If I rolled a 1, a 2, or a 3, I would be detected by the escort. And I would have a detected marker placed. Now, to make the U-boat evade, you would need to get to 200 meters, and after the next depth charge attack, the submarine, or the U-boat, evades, and the destroyer loses you and instead is searching. After that, the searching is removed, and you have successfully escaped. The U-boats are at danger of being depth charged by these targets, or destroyers. Destroyers are a worse U-boat's nightmare. Because basically, Hegerlein, right, that's commander in German, or captain in German. So say like my U-boat was here, I could get depth charged, I probably would take damage, if not more. If you're on the surface, of course the destroyers can't really fire depth charges at you on the surface, but they can fire their guns at you, which can be even more dangerous. And if you reach 200 meters, you're damaged on a 6. If you're at 100 meters, you're damaged on a 5 or a 6. If you're at periscope depth, 4+. So there's different advantages to going deeper. So when you have identified a target and you fire your torpedoes and you've sunk it, you will place the number, say like I sunk this 5,000 tonner, you place it in there. So there is also a table for the torpedo attack. If I just quickly move my camera. Torpedo attack. So if you're on the surface, you sink ships on a 3+. On periscope depth, you sink on a 4+. So basically you can sink ships at different depths. So, Unterseeboot is a really cool, unique World War II simulation game where you command a World War II U-boat, making use of your battery and your auxiliary and your torpedoes and trying not to get detected and just having a good time. There's 20 turns. So, I hope you liked the video. Like and subscribe and share. I will see you in the next one for the playthrough video, which will probably be out tomorrow. Apart from that, take care.